Hello Pioneers, in the last episode of our MEGAFACTORY build series, we tackled the massive challenge of building a 50 refinery caterium smelting factory, testing both our creativity and technical skills. This episode, we expand with a sleek, modern factory for wire and quickwire production. We introduce our first block layout with a second road and even convert unused space into a parking lot. Can we continue to blend aesthetics and efficiency as we grow our megafactory? Let's find out. Now that we have both copper and caterium, but more importantly, now that we have caterium, we can finally make some product that we want to use, which is the wire and the quick wire. So the wire recipe we're going to use is the caterium wire recipe. It produces the most wire per minute, I think. And I mean, it uses caterium instead of copper, but it produces, 4 times more wire per minute. Not really interested in these other recipes. We can mix caterium and copper and produce something in assemblers, fused wire. And there's also a recipe in the caterium quickwire thing, which I don't have yet. I probably have it in my MAM or something, but it lets you also mix caterium and copper to make quickwire. But I think for simplicity, we'll just use all our caterium to make wire and quickwire, because caterium is not used for many other things, if I'm not mistaken. Quickwire. Here we go. I do have the other quickwire recipe, so if we want it, we can do this. So yes, I do have that recipe. I should be scanning hard drives. But I think we're just going to go for constructors, and I've calculated how many constructors we need. So 20 wire constructors can make 2 belts of wire and use up 300 caterium, and 20 quick wire constructors can make 1 belt of quick wire using 240 caterium. In our factory over here, we're producing 600 caterium, so that would be perfect. So we need 40 constructors. And I was thinking of trying to make an interesting bespoke factory for this. Normally with constructors, I was thinking of doing towers that go upwards in case we need to expand construction. But I think for this, we're going to just stick with this because we're using up pretty much this entire factory's worth of stuff. So I was thinking of a cool L shape or something just to break up my factory. So let's start measuring out some stuff. We're going to need some floor to start with. Go into blueprint mode and start building ourselves some floor over here. So if we want to do sort of an L-shaped building, let's just see what 20 constructors looks like. This is 10. So 20 constructors is really not that much. Like, it doesn't even take up this whole section of... So that's just like 1 level of constructors. And then we can do like a second level here for wire. And then we just need 20 constructors to fit in here somehow, which is a little bit more challenging. So this is 20. We need another 20. It really isn't that challenging. It's just there and then there, like here and here. And what's the minimum? If I did my 20 like this, what is the minimum amount of space that I need for here? So I probably want to leave a 2 tile gap between buildings, or just maybe, this is all a 2 tile gap. So we'll be consistent with that. And we'll leave, if we leave a 2 tile gap and then a 1 tile gap, it'll be out here somewhere. Maybe a 2 tile gap is too much for the back of the building, I mean. Maybe we'll leave a 1 tile gap. We'll start the wall from here. Then the constructors would start, say, here, 1 tile in. And then we'll center it on this tile, right? And this building will just have plenty of space, I suppose. Either that or we can do like a little parking lot out here. So if we were to give the building some space here, it would pretty much start from here. So this will be a space for between walls. Kind of tempted to do a 2 tile gap, and then the wall would start here. If the wall starts on this tile, then this tile would be completely empty or mostly empty, and then we'd probably start it here. That's where the constructors would go. All right, that seems reasonable, and for some reason it's lining up to something over there. I like that. We'll have to modify the belts and stuff accordingly, but it'd be something like this. We're just going to put them down as placeholder for now, and then we'll modify their direction and stuff to make more sense later. So here is 20 constructors for one thing. Now across here, we can do another 20 constructors. And this is going to be an unnecessarily large L-shaped building for this project. Do we want to do that? Or do we just want to do something nice and simple and just do another tower? It's going to be a very small tower, literally. Yeah, you know what? I wanted to do a cool L-shaped building, but it just doesn't accommodate the size of what we're trying to build here. Because what we're trying to build is actually very tiny. Each one of these floors houses 20 constructors. So it's literally just a 2-story building. It's basically this, but we can probably build it a little bit bigger. I want the constructor building to be like slightly different from the smelter building, so you can just kind of distinguish it. So we might as well set up our blueprints for the constructor building then. Okay, that's fine. I thought it'd be a cool concept, but probably not. We'll figure out some other use for the space then. Now, looking at our smelting tower, one of the biggest things, I was going for like a modern office tower vibe, and it's not really giving me that modern office tower vibe. So I want to try to make this one more office towery, and I think it needs to be less foundational and blocky and a lot more windowy. So I'm going to build that accordingly. But how do we do that? Let's figure it out. So normally we have a wall that's just a wall, right? So let's try using something less tall. So instead of 4-meter foundations, we'll do it on a base of 2-meter foundations. What am I doing? Why am I not using coated concrete? And what if instead of 2-meter foundations, we did it using half foundations, so the wall's less thick? This is a suggestion one of my viewers gave. So this is what half foundations would look like. Now, I assume the problem comes in on the corner tile with the half foundations. So you would have to do something like this for the corner, right? Which is fine. There's no Z-fighting or anything like that. And that makes a thinner wall, which is also beneficial for our constructor building because our constructors are slightly bigger than the smelters. So it'll give the interior a little bit more space, and we can experiment whether these half foundations will work. Now, we want a nice rounded corner. So let's see what we can do about that. Now, you can't just round a corner, right? There's no foundation that rounds a corner. Like, there's this quarter pipe, but that doesn't stack upwards. I can't put 2 quarter pipes on top of each other. That would look insane for a side of a building. Insane, but not particularly horrible. What? Do we want this as our corner? What else do we have? Outer corner extension. Why is it 1 meter but not like a big one? Can't I just have a big round outer corner extension? What about if we use this thing? Rounded outer quarter pipe. Kind of, but this bit's a little bit janky. What? Does this not fit onto a tile? Or am I just offset weirdly? It'd be like that. How does that play? Like the inside is a little bit weird, but we can fill that in with a normal foundation if we wanted to. And then what? You just go rounded corner all the way out. That's kind of cool. I'd like this on the ground though. If you're enjoying the video and you want to support Data Engineer Plays, don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. And if you have any feedback or suggestions, feel free to share them in the comment section. Well, let's see how this plays with like the rest of the wall. So if I just go up like that, and then my corner is just going to be these things. 4-meter extensions. Yeah? How does that look for a corner? It looks weird. This transition looks a bit strange. It gives a bit of roundness. Maybe we're trying to do too many things at once. What if we just did a 2-meter foundation like this? Is there a transition ramp that transitions it nicely? Inverted quarter ramp. Quarter pipes. So these are what sticks them together. But then this is just going to be for the bottom level, right? Because you can't stack these on top of each other. The bottom of the building can be rounded like that, and then we can do stuff. The problem with this is that it doesn't give the interior any space, but you know what? Screw the interior. Let's just do something with this. Maybe we can do something cool with this. Now, how many units tall is our building? It's 4 stories, right? So there, that's our main 4 stories. Now we can do some windowing. Now, the problem with our old build is too much wall, right? So we don't want as much wall. Over here, we probably just want a 2-meter foundation, but there is no 2-meter foundation that's like nice. It'll just stick out like this if I try to vertical it, which looks terrible. But maybe we can do something cool with quarter pipes and inverted quarter pipes. That building's gonna look freaking insane if we do stuff like this. What? So that's the full building. Sorry, it's meant to be a 4-meter foundation. 4-meter half foundation. 4-meter, 4-meter, 4-meter. That's 4 stories high. And then we can do like a really beautiful top window. If we just do like a 1-meter foundation, that's the correct height. And then on top of that is going to be the subfloor, right? And then it's just going to have this weird wave wall coming out of it. Is that interesting geometry, or does that just look whack? It's not really nice architecture, I would say. And then we have subfloor, which is this. And then we just do the same thing on this side. Well, do we want the same architecture on both sides? What if we replace this with a regular foundation block that just sticks out like this? Is that transition a little bit weird and unnecessary? What if we just did that? Interesting, kind of. There's the subfloor, and then we can seal off the top again like this, and then the subfloor. And this part sticks out a bit, so we need to do something like this. Now we've left a lot of room for glass, which is what we wanted, because this one is not glassy enough. So we can do something like this for that officey vibe, or do we want clear windows? Looks like a jail cell. Let's paint it black to see what it might look like. Oh, we'll leave this as like a pillar highlight. We'll keep it the same color. What's not doing it for me? Is it these windows? What if we just did single windows? That's looking a lot better. Less lines, a little bit cleaner. And then what else is not doing it for me? This coated concrete thing. No, it's actually okay. I actually don't mind this feature. Ah, this part Z fights, okay? So we might need to give the base the same color. This part Z fighting is fine because the walls will all be merged. But yeah, that's basically a corner. We can add some lights in somewhere. But the other thing is, this top part is not going to merge nicely with anything, because we can't just stack another quarter pipe on top of this, right? That would look super weird. Do we like this? I'm not too sure about this architecture. To make this stack, we would basically have to put inverted quarter pipes above here to make it tile with the next level, if we want to keep doing this lip thing, which kind of looks a bit weird, to be honest. But yeah, this is how you can get a little bit of roundness into your life, if that's what you're after. What don't I like about this? Is it the color? Ah, it's staring at this thing for like 20 minutes and just seeing what I can do. I just want to add a more glass touch. So instead of the foundation being a strip like what this building ended up being, what we've done with the foundation instead is I'm using glass windows, so you can kind of see into it, but not really. I don't mind if you see into it, because what are you going to see in through here? Glowy belts? Cool, right? I had to use a little bit of a sign trick over here to cover up some of the weird Z fighting in the subfloor. I still don't want Z fighting invisible in my subfloor. This is what the building's interior looks like, which is whatever, right? Like nothing special about that. And the only thing I'm not really sure about is this. I added a little light strip underneath, because if we were to stack this under there, I think it'd be pretty cool if it sort of reflects from under, because you're going to have this little ledge lip thing coming out of it. So I guess the only way to figure out if this is going to work is by just putting it down and then modifying the blueprint, right? So I've got all these different corners now. I'm going to start doing some sort of naming convention or something. Filler wall, pillar wall, split corner. Oh man, just trying to figure out how to organize it. We could probably split it between like corners and different things, I guess, different other types of essentials, because these essentials are not really essentials, right? We'll add a subcategory called corners, because corners are apparently their own thing at this point in the game, because we've made so many different styles of corners. We'll just call this, we'll just start it thing, corner quarter pipe. That's the defining feature of this corner. It's a quarter pipe, right? So we'll put that as the icon as well, and we'll set the directory to be our new corners thing. Alright, so we've got our corner. Let's go put it down and see what that looks like. So it's going to take the same footprint as this, because we know we can fit 20 constructors over 2 floors on this building. So let's just put it with a 2 tile gap. Or maybe this one can have just like a 1 tile gap, because it'll be like right next to it. All right, let's put the corner down. Now I feel like this lip can go out a bit. Or maybe we'll do a 2-corner gap, but it'll be like 1.5 tiles because this lip is going to go out. That way the interior has a little bit more space. See how the interior is like there now? I think that's how it works. Okay, the footprint's going to be a little bit weird because then it's not going to perfectly line up to this. Either that or we're going... Alright, we're going to have issues if we do this. Let's just line it up. Otherwise our building's not going to be perfectly the same size. But I think this is fine. There we go. Now it's all lined up. Let's just do it like this. We can always change it. Now we know the width of the building is just 2 of these corners together. Like this. Oh. I see an issue. I need a mirror version of my blueprint. Otherwise, this siding is going to be wrong. It's going to be like... You can't do different things on this side and this side. Otherwise, it's going to be weird. But most of it is the same, so it's fine. I can just manually make that edit, right? A little bit annoying. So we'll do the same thing on this side. We'll line it up to this building. I believe that is here. And that should be a 2-tile gap in between these two things. Oh, they really need to build in a flip functionality. I guess it's causing too many issues if they try to flip certain things. Now, before we go ahead and fix this wall, we need to fix this wall first so I can see what... No, we'll put in the second level first because we know we need 2 levels. Let's see how these look like stacked on top of each other. It could be a big fail. So we'll just go check it out. Or it could look cool. Who knows? Let's just see how that looks. I don't mind the lip. It looks kind of interesting. Even this, I don't super mind. I mean, I think this is actually a different finish. That's why it looks weird at the moment. No, it is a chrome finish. The chrome finish on this looks completely different to the chrome finish on here, which is a little bit awkward. I actually don't super mind this pillar and this thing being together, but I will change it. Let's see what it looks like with a double thing. Let me modify this part. It should be a pretty easy fix as well. I should just be able to dismantle all of this, and that's already there. And in fact, we don't even need to do anything. We just need to dismantle it and maybe just put another sign here to link it. Because we don't even need another one. Like, why? This can just be a little bit offset, not fully centered, right? Asymmetry is what makes things interesting and beautiful, so... That is actually perfectly fine, just to like remove that, and then there's like a little interesting feature that goes up. This, on the other hand, we need to sort of fix. Because this is like the entranceway in, so we need to remove all of that. And removing... Oh no, I wasn't meant to remove the bottom quarter pipe. Fine, we'll just put that back in. And then we need to rebuild this part manually. Then it needs glass. There's a lot to rebuild here, unfortunately. Well, one side is obviously going to be easier to remove than the other, right? Alright, here is the building completely modified. I did the manual changes along this side. I added the second floor on this side. And it's looking pretty good, I think. It's got that interesting look to it. Now, what are we going to do about this midsection is the question. Now, we could just use this. I think that would look just pretty decent with this build, I think, maybe. I think it's just called filler wall, right? Surprisingly, this one looks pretty decent with it. And it fits in perfectly, so might as well reuse our work, I guess. Very interesting. I think that looks pretty decent, actually. The filler wall works nicely with this blueprint. Now, the entrance to this building is obviously going to be on this side of the road, so we'll put a filler wall on this side too. Gotta get out of blueprint mode, chuck a filler wall somewhere here, line it up perfectly, 1 tile in, and then we can do blueprint mode for the second part, and there you go. Now we carve out the entrances for the filler wall. It's funny how like we can mix and match different blueprints, like walls and stuff, and it will just give this weird, interesting and weird look to everything. I kind of want this to be a little bit different. What if we did coated concrete, but with a shallower ramp so it fits nicely here? Of course it won't let me snap to this point because of this stupid billboard. No, we can do a 4-meter ramp. Because I want the bits that are gray to join up perfectly. So like that. Then you can put the billboard back in. And that looks nice. Now, what do I hate about this? Probably we need to paint this properly now. That would make a lot more sense. I don't mind the gray band in the middle, but we need to make this part make sense, right? So we'll do the same on this side. Oh no, I just painted something random. I think I painted the window, but the window doesn't do anything, so it's fine. Gotta be very careful when you're painting. There we go. I mean, we can do the same thing here. I just want to shift this up 1. Now, I'm not super worried about extensibility here because for the purpose of this factory, what are we extending? Like, I don't think we're extending anything in particular, right? So this is going to be our full factory. Now we just need to give it a roof at some point. So we'll figure out the roof, but that's fine for now. I don't mind this lip. It actually looks decent. Did I not carve out this entranceway properly? Did I carve out this entranceway too tall? All right, that's fine. Let's fill this in and then maybe things will make a lot more sense. Sometimes things just don't make sense until you have everything filled in properly. There's a little bit of Z fighting on the way in, but totally fine. Let's fix this part so it looks consistent. I deleted the wrong part of the billboards here, that's why. But then if I put that billboard there, how am I gonna put this ramp back in? What? How did I do this? You know what? The easy way to do this, just redo this whole thing. Now we can get rid of the part we actually want to get rid of, which is these 3 tiles. There we go. Nice entrance. And we want to fix this thing. We'll do something like that. Put the billboard back in. You guys see how much work this is? Is it worth it? What am I doing with my life? But I think it's worth it because it looks pretty nice. Yeah, I like it. What do we think? It's more glassy than this one, which is what I like. Let's paint these floors and walls accordingly. So we need more grip foundation in the middle here and more regular foundation down here. And then coated concrete along the edges. Now, I'm fairly confident we built this originally to fit the 20 constructors, so they should fit. They'll just be a little bit snug. Even still, I'm going to go paint the thing before I put the constructors in because it's a little bit easier. So we're going to get our coated concrete material and do the edges. Just like that. And then we'll do grip metal in the middle. And if I've done all my maths correctly, that room is pretty much ready to go. So let's put in our constructors. So there they are. Just figure out, yeah, they fit nice and snug. We designed this room to fit constructors, so it's fine. Now we want to fit them snugly in the center. And also we want the belts to come out of a certain direction. Ideally, I want my belts to come in the front, I guess. I mean, technically my caterium is coming from here. So I guess they can come in the side or something here. But ideally, I'd like them to come out the front. But then we want to minimize the travel time underground. Oh man, I can't flip this, can I? Because this is the start of the manifold. And that's the end of a manifold. So it can come in there, which is probably the most optimal location. And then it can loop out this way into here. I suppose that's fine. Can we make it a little bit more snug? A little bit too snug out the back here. And then we can center the pillar beams. That's pretty centered, actually. All right, this will be how it goes. One more tile there. And that should be perfect. There's our first 20 constructors. And then we need another 20 constructors on this side. That looks perfect. And one more on this side. There we are. That's looking pretty good, I think. We'll do the roof at the end. We should probably fill this in though. With the building done, I think the next step is just to get power into it and start getting the machines operational. So we'll figure out how to get power into here. Now, closest power point is here. I don't want to run it through the building. But if this is going to be our power point, we can just run it across, I guess. There's no harm in doing that. We can run it to like here, for example. And then we can run it into here. It should all line up nicely. Oh, it hates this. And then from here, we can run power in. Is this not lined up horizontally? It is a horizontal line, right? Oh, no, because of the way it goes in. Oh, man, that's annoying. Oh, man, I'm really tempted to run the power through the subfloor as well, just to give it that clean thing. But it's just so annoying to do. All right, we'll clean up the power infrastructure in a bit. I think this is the cleanest that we're going to get it, maybe. Or we can borrow the one from the caterium factory next door. So along this line is where I want it. So here. Why is this not lined up to this line? What? That's weird. So along here is where I want it. And then we can get it going across here like this. I think is a little bit cleaner. Ah, so hard to get this connection in. Then we can get it in. This can just go diagonally through something, I don't mind. Now, where is a clean spot for power in this setup? Probably along the ceiling. Now we need to get this up to the ceiling in the straightest way possible. And then into here. That gets it power. Then we can connect the power between here and here. Now, do we want the bottom level to be copper wire and the top level to be caterium wire? It doesn't really make a difference. Let's just do wire here. Wait, we don't want regular wire. We want caterium wire. That turns 15 caterium ingot into 120 wire each. There we go. But why isn't any of this connected in my blueprint? What happened? What? I'm so confused. What happened to my wire connections in my blueprint? This was all connected in my blueprint, wasn't it? That's super weird. Not a big deal, but I'm just confused as to why this wire connection is not connected. When would that have been deleted? That would have been such a pain to delete. Either that or I really didn't connect the wires in the blueprint. But I don't remember doing this when I made my other constructors in the other building. Strange. But anyway, that's all the stuff in. So now we just need to get the caterium in. We don't want to link these two belts because they each consume, well, they each produce 120. So 10 of them will output, this manifold itself will output a full belt. So actually no, the input can be connected. I'm confusing myself. So we can connect it like this, and then this is where it comes from. This is where it comes from. Well, we can change that, right? If we just remove this, we can make it come from here. That's the main input, and then we'll trace the belt across and go, I want it to go along here like that, and then into here. We can change the directionality of where we want the belt to come from in this blueprint, which is a feature I didn't even try to make when I was making this, just by modifying this part of the blueprint. And then it can go down here through here and into here. And now our caterium belt can feed from over here somewhere. So let's figure out where that might be. We can just replace one of these glass tiles with a wall, I guess, is probably the simplest solution because we're already in the ceiling. There's no wall to replace here that would cleanly bring a belt in. So I might as well just do this. We'll use a triple because we know there's going to be stuff above it. Then we can bring our lift from, I don't know, this one, say, for example. And then we can bring a belt in here. Too steep. Okay. Is that clipping into the thing? That's too low. All right. Man. 5th time's the charm. So clipping into the thing, but not quite. Like that. There we go. So now I just need to bring that down into the subfloor and bring it across. Now, I don't even technically need to bring it into the subfloor and across. I can just get the belt to come through here, right? Because we haven't decided where the caterium even comes out of yet. Where is the analogous belt here? It's like through this tile wall. Oh, man. Let's see if we can cleanly do that, because then we can get a bridging belt across here. And I don't mind belts running cleanly across outside, because like I said, belts are just free lighting, and it just adds extra flair to everything, right? I'm also going to carve a back door into this factory, because this is going to be a main road, right? So technically there should be a back door here. I'm just trying to find my center point. 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is the center point. We'll do a 1 meter ramp to give it a smooth drop. There we go. And then we just need a doorway, right? We can get rid of this painted steel beam. I mean, this is okay for a doorway. We can probably do better. Are my gates in here, or are they part of the walls? Automated gates? Why can't I put it above? I've seen people do this before. Ah, I see. Let's not complicate things. Let's just put pillars. I was going to do automated gates, but because of the alignment, it's not going to work. And then it's going to look super weird. What will work is just a nice simple pillar that goes from here to here, from here to here, and then from here to here, and some pillar corners over here, 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 and here. And that will be a nice little opening to this factory. That's fine. Now let's figure out where the caterium ingots output. So at the moment, they're all outputting to the other side. Okay. Fine. If they're all outputting to the other side and they're all linked into one belt, then I'm not going to do what I was going to do, which is bring it all back this way into here and back out, because that would just be a big belt mess. Instead, I would just bring it into the subfloor. So we'll use the subfloor to hide it where things make sense to hide, but we won't go too crazy with it. Also, how is my caterium ingot smelting going? I'm still seeing a little bit of flashing here, but that's just water, right? Like that's just the water is like not perfectly saturating all the way to the end. But you can see now with our water tower we built last episode, we are the only machines that are failing are the ones at the very, very tippy top end of the factory. Now, is that potentially because I've got this overclocked too much? I'm not too sure. We'll have to do the maths more carefully at some point. But in theory, we're getting 12 per minute, and yeah, there's 25 on each side. So we should be getting 12 times 25, 300 per side. That's a 600, close enough to 600 full caterium. Now, this is the final output, so we might as well just not even mess about with this and just bring it into the floor. That is what the subfloor is for in the end of the day. Either that, or we can bring it into the ceiling and bring it out, and that gives interesting features in the ceiling. Wouldn't that be cool? And that lines up perfectly. Oh, guys, what do we do? It's there. No, we want to do it on this line. Oh, it's a bit tricky to do there. You can do double lift. You could lift it up to the ceiling first and then belt it and then lift it again. That's kind of janky. What is the best way to do this? We'll just do that then. I'm sure I can fit a lift in here. That will work. So it's along here somewhere. We want to center the lift. See, I don't know why everybody loves to hide their belts. I feel like belts and lifts are a beautiful feature in this game, and we should absolutely utilize them whenever we can to do things. Line these two up. Get this going the right way though, because that's an input. And then we can get that going like that. And that is perfectly fine. That looks nice. And we've got caterium ingots going here now. Now, here is the lift, and we can get a caterium belt going out this way along the ceiling. See? Creativeness. And then these belts look so beautiful. Like, why hide them, honestly? Why hide these beautiful looking belts? Now they can go over here. Why can't I do it like one more out? It just hates that. That can still be a thing, right? Yeah, that's fine. And then we can lift from here down, meet this level, and then belt that straight in. It actually perfectly goes into the center of this building. Now, the thing is, I don't just want it here. I also want it up here. So we need to split this belt somewhere and create a second belt that goes up there. I could just manifold it up to the second level, but I don't want the... Oh, I guess once the manifold fills, it doesn't matter, but I think it's fine to split this here. So we get a splitter going like that. Then we do that. That. Then we lift this up to this floor. Get the same thing going on this side as this. Does that look nice? And then we can get that going out like there. Does this look nice, or is this just like a belt mess now? I don't mind it. Do I mind it? Do I like this? I think this part looks a bit unclean. This is like a little bit much. Now this belt, unfortunately, will just clip through this bit, so I can't just put it through the way we normally do, unless I just remove this and then make this flat. Then we can lift it up from here somewhere, but we need to split it. Where is the best place to split this? This is the effect I want to go for. I want a lift that comes down like this. Because I think that would look pretty cool. It even integrates into here nicely, I think. But then how do I split it here? You can do something like this. Doesn't look horrible. Is it the curved belts that's throwing me? There's something about this that I'm not loving. Let's just leave it for now. I think it'd be a cool, interesting feature for now. But yeah, I don't know if I'm loving it. It's just maybe just too much, right? All right, let's just use the manifold then. So we'll go straight in and then we'll just manifold it through. That's fine. And we'll fix this up. There's a very interesting balance between using these belts as decoration and then just like too much and then it just looks messy. See, like one looks clean. It looks cool. I like this. So next we need to go inside here and fix the rest of this. So let me go and figure that out. Got to change this around a bit. So it's coming in from here like that. And then that goes in here. Oh God. This belt height is just terrible. It goes right, sits snug on here, and then out there we go. Then now we're making a ton of wire. That's going to saturate through this manifold. What is going on over here? It's going to go through here, through here, through here, through here. And now it's going to go up using the subfloor to the next level. So up you go. And it's going to turn that way. Eventually it'll saturate all these machines and they'll start pumping out copper wire. Now on this second level, we need to use the subfloor to do stuff. So I'm going to open up a floor first. Then we're going to figure out where that's coming through, which is over here. Now, can it just go straight up is the question. If it goes straight up, it would go into this hole. And this hole is not the right hole that we want to go through, right? We ideally want it to start anywhere. Like either this is the actual start of it, without having to change any belts. It'll make the top and the bottom different, but the start is actually here. So let's do the start here. That's not quite right, like that. Then we need to bring this into here. So we go like this, and like this, and this should line up perfectly. Beautiful. Fill the subfloor. Set the recipe. So this is going to make quick wire. Now we just got to power this whole majiggy. And again, my blueprint no longer has the wires in here. That's got to be a glitch. There's no way I built this blueprint without connecting these wires. That's just silly. Well, before I use it again, I'll go into my blueprint editor and add the wires, I suppose. People that are watching my series can go back to my old episode, or if you recall from watching the last episode, whether I had to do this or not. Now let's get the power from downstairs up. So it's from here onto the ceiling. Like that. Direct straight line. Good enough. And then into here. That powers all of these machines. And boom. They come to life. And now we are making wire and quick wire. Look at that. Beautiful. Easy. So with that done, now we can just do some final touches on the actual building. Our building is completely functional. So what do we want to do to the building is the question. First, we need to add lighting. So we'll do a similar lighting structure as we did before with the 3. So along the top over here, we'll do lighting like this. I think we started in the center, right? Now, where's my cable? There. So I want my thing facing this way. Is this what we did last time? Just did it like this. Yeah, I think that's all we did. Just one lighting here. I can see the lighting on the other side. So it's like here. It actually lets me control snap this lighting. Hilarious. Like that. And similarly on this side. That's not far enough. Just like that. And then we get a wire in the lighting. So we'll get some cable. And we'll just join it there. Is this not aligned right? Oh man. Let me do that, but properly. The alignment is here. Like that. Get the power to the lights. And then we do a daisy chain from this light to this light. And we keep daisy chaining the lights like this. Boom. Lit up. Beautiful. Do the same thing on the second floor. 1, 2, and 3. Power up the lights. And that's all the interior's done. Beautiful. Now that's looking pretty schmick. Cool looking building, slightly different to this building, which I like. Subtle difference, so they still look like they match kind of, but looks good. All right, I think the next thing we should probably do is a roof level. I don't want to go too hard on the roof level, and the reason for that is just because we're probably going to end up replacing it very, very soon, right? So we might just do a very simple roof. So I'm thinking like, what if we want to make cables up here or whatever, more constructors up here so we can keep raising this, but we'll see about that. So we'll do a very simple roof like this, basically just giving it a bit of skirting. Why does this line up really weird? What? It's like half a tile out. Is there some weird misalignment happening with my back wall? Weird. I just wanted to clip onto this. What? Why does this work perfectly fine? I'm so confused. It's 3 foundation tiles. Just let me put it down. God, why are you being so difficult about this game? I must be like half a foundation tile out somewhere, because this is just like slightly not lining up. Is this back wall done incorrectly? Give it a bit, it'll just be slightly misaligned for absolutely no reason. Hopefully no one will notice this. Little lip. So weird. Why? This game is just tilting me now. What? Now it's letting me do it, but not if I... okay. It was just having like a big issue with snapping points. So weird. Alright, cool. Anyway, I think it was trying to snap to the billboard or do something weird like that. But anyway, we got it fixed. So how does that look with the lip? I'm still getting a little bit of Z fighting around this edge. Why? Why just this edge? Is there Z fighting? A little bit here. And a little bit here. And a little bit here. The Z fighting is really, really random. But it's kind of fine. It's barely noticeable. I'm okay with this. What do we think of that building, guys? When I do my final roof, I'll probably do a lip like this, like arch it back out the other way. But I don't think this is going to be my final roof, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But that's looking pretty nice. It's got nice little like rounded features, which I kind of like. And yeah, I think we can pretty much leave it at that for this building. We need to worry about the outputs and what we want to do with this space now. So before I do this space, I have an idea for it, but we need to build the road here first. So let me quickly do that. There's my road in. So we've got the road here, we've got the road over there, and now this sort of starts forming a block, I guess. So see how there's all this unused space here? Now I've got a dual purpose for this. One is aesthetic. What if we put a parking lot here? That would be pretty cool, right? So what we can do is, oh, but what about this section? How will that interact with the parking lot? Because it's like curved in. So I guess just up from here will be the parking lot. So we're going to turn this into asphalt. So 1, 2 tiles, and then this will be like a parking lot. So like say starting from here, and then like here, up to the end here. Right, so this is like sort of a parking lot for this building. So we can do some cool stuff to make this actually look like a parking lot, starting with some sort of fencing. I feel like the rails are too low for fencing, but we'll give it a go. I wish there was like big rails that we could use. So we want to get rid of this. So the roadblocks are almost just as high as the rails. I know it feels like a big waste of space here. We could probably put like a mini factory of some sort here, but it's fine. So this will be the parking lot section. And then we can figure out how do you do like lines and stuff. So let's just put down a car so we get a rough sense of scale, like say a truck. Now there's got to be some sort of line we can use as a pattern. Is there a diagonal line? There's no diagonal line. That kind of sucks. What about factory lines? That kind of looks cool, right? Like a little parking lot for cars. We can give a couple of different types of cars. The tractor. This thing is this is the only one that we could use because it's like really big. Like even the Explorer looks tiny. Just give the cars like a slightly different color to each other. There you go. There's some parked cars here now. I can't do diagonal lines. I can do it with roadblocks, but kind of just want to do the interesting pattern here. Now, this is just for aesthetics. It serves actual no functional purpose at all. So what we'll do is now we'll give this little section a bit of a purpose. And when I said dual purpose before, I meant that we don't need to store, we don't need a central hub, right, for where we're storing. See how our concrete works perfectly fine? Like we rarely ever have to go over here and retrieve concrete, and it's being dimensionally stored. So we can store the wire and the quick wire out here. And I like the idea of out here because, you know, industrial storage boxes give some, like, again, some interesting features to our building. So what we can do is build ourselves an industrial storage box over here. Give a little bit of room for belts. As long as it doesn't clip into this one, we'll put it in the center of here. Say like here, and we'll put one like right next to it, or like that. And then we can do dimensional storage, like say here and here, right? Then one of these will store into here, and one of these will store into here. I mean, that kind of looks cool. And now we just need to bring the material in that we want to store. So for the copper wire, there's 2 belts. So we don't need to store both belts into here, but we can take the overflow or 2 belts. How do we sync this and store this? That's a very interesting question, because there's actually 2 belts of stuff. I mean, I guess we don't need everything continuously producing, right? So we basically want to take one of the belts and we want to smart split it the same way we did for the other stuff. So eventually we want it to go out maybe this window here. So let's put in our smart splitter, and then we've got many outputs for this. So one output could go, I don't know, somewhere, but this is the overflow output that's going to go into our storage. So we'll chuck that there, and then what does that line up with? Kind of this one, or is it diagonal? So we've got to go up one more into the ceiling. Clips into the lights a little bit, but don't care about that. We can do something like this, and then we want it to come into dimensional storage. Now this is an interesting manifold. So we want it to go into here, but we want it to smart split into potentially a full belt. It needs to go into a sink, right? Potentially. And the other one needs to go into a sink. So we need like 2 sinks as well at some point. And sinks are absolutely massive. So each one of these then needs a sink. Interesting. More importantly, we have a MAM thing. I've been researching the MAM as I've been building this stuff. We got ourselves a steeled frame recipe. Cloudy diamonds. A little bit of coal, little bit of limestone. That doesn't sound very useful. Why would anyone want a cloudy diamond? I want a shiny diamond with full clarity. All right. So 1 sink isn't going to be enough. We actually need 2 sinks. That's what a sink looks like. And it lines up nicely here, but then I don't have room for a second sink. I guess we could put the second sink like here in the actual parking lot. And I mean, if the belts get messy, we can always do the belting in the subfloor, right? I think in this case, we should probably do the belting in the subfloor, because it's going to get really messy with splitters and stuff. So let's bring that into the subfloor. Now, as this comes out, this is going to be the overflow belt on the left. And now we need to get into the subfloor somewhere. So we can build a cool little tower over here. And that's like a window, a guard window, right? Nice little box. Now, if we just put some more foundation a little bit offset like this. Or maybe we use 2 meter foundation for this. Offset it by 1. Paint that in. Nice little guard tower boom gate thing. But it also doubles as a maintenance tower because we're gonna go in here and go downstairs. Now here's our overflow belt. Now we just got to figure out where we want that to go over here. I know it's a bit of a waste of subfloor to do this aesthetic stuff, but whatever. Let me get some stairs going. It's always gonna do the thing again where I can barely get out properly with the 2 poles in the middle. Well, that's fine, whatever. This is not important. The little toll booth. Why is this Z fighting? What? Usually it never Z fights on foundation. That's super weird. Well, we know how to fix Z fighting. Got a little bit distracted here, sorry guys. Not a small billboard, that's too big. Display sign, too small. Portrait sign, that's the one. Make it purple. Make it text. Make the text purple. And we Gucci. Glossy emissive. There we go. None of the other sides are Z fighting, so I'm not going to put stuff there. This is Z fighting though, so we'll get rid of it. Oh, yeah, there we go. Nice little toll booth that also doubles as a maintenance hatch thing. I like that. All right. Anyway, back to what we were trying to do, which is getting this stuff into storage. So we need floor holes like such. And if we don't like these machines, we can always put them in the floor, but I actually don't mind the awesome sinks. They kind of look nice. Now we need floor holes for the awesome sink as well. I'm going to get so confused what floor holes is for what, but that's fine. Kind of looks cool with some machinery on the outside. Gives it a little bit of, you know, interesting features. It's not just blocky boxes everywhere. Okay, here's my 4 floor holes. I'm going to try to remember which one is for which. So on this thing, as it comes out, we want to bring the full belt across as close to as possible. But then we want it to bring it to a splitter. Oh, I can't put splitters in the air. Okay, I can put splitters on here though. What if I did it here? So that knows to go in, and if I change this to a splitter with the input here, I can do that, right? And that gets the belt of stuff in. Oh crap, I did the wrong splitter, didn't I? I want a smart splitter to get that in. And that's gonna store it into my box, which is great. But then we want the overflow. So this is the main storage for this. And the overflow is going to go out into sinks so that we can get continuous motion going. Now, if I just face these towards each other, will that be okay? Yeah, that's fine. So once the box is full, it will now store. Now we want a similar behavior over here. So we want a thing that goes like this. Now we want a smart splitter that feeds from this direction because the quick wire is also going to come from here. We want the main storage to go there and then the outer storage to go this way. So I'll do something like that. And then if I bring it in like this, then it should be happy. So we want the left-hand side this time to be the overflow. Great. Now we just need to bring the quick wire itself down, and we can figure out some cool way to do that. Oh, what did I just deconstruct? I almost deconstructed something important. I was meant to deconstruct this. Now we can bring the quick wire down, and we can use a lift to do that. Or we can use the subfloor if the lift doesn't look nice. I kind of want a lift coming down from here. But how? With all these little ramp ledges. It's not really a good, clean way to do this, is there? Alright, let's not overcomplicate it. We'll just use the subfloor. I was trying to think of a nice decorative way to get this out, but I don't think there's a nice decorative way to get this out. So I'm going to have to merge these two outputs. So that goes in there. That goes in there. They both come out here. They need to be merged first. Do we want a big thing right at the entrance though? But we can use the subfloor to adjust where it goes, right? That's the point of the subfloor. So we can do a merger like this. Now we've got the outputs. So then we can put a lift down into the subfloor. Now we've got to figure out how we get it into this subfloor and where we want the lift to go. So I'm thinking just along this side over here. Looks pretty nice, right? Like say from here to here. We'll center it so it's nice and easy to build. Then we just do this. Click. And then it's kind of nice and out of the way. If you go in, you can see a lift here, but you don't know what it's for. Secret. And now we just need to connect this using the subfloor bits. So we need to get into the subfloor again. You can go in any which way. So from here to there. Just do something like this and do a loop-de-loop. The lifts on the bottom are the wrong way. Let me figure that out. So it's going to come from here down to here, and we want it to go out that way. Like that. Into the subfloor we go. So now this is expecting an input. That's an output. So we can just do that. And that should get the quick wire out and down. Fantastic. Let's reseal this floor. And now in theory, this should be holding quick wire. And if I dismantle, this is a little trick that one of my viewers taught me. If you dismantle it and you can see the material that you want, which is in this case, you can see quick wire on my screen. That means this lift is carrying quick wire. So quick wire is in our subfloor now. So let's go into our subfloor and get it into the correct box. So it's over here. We need to wrap it around this side. So we'll bring it like this first, somewhere here. We'll bring a lift out that way, and that will just connect to that, and everything should just function. We've got wire, we've got quick wire, it's going through the subfloor, and it is being stored into these two lovely boxes now. And then they are each going into dimensional storage, and we can see the material out here, so we don't need to label it or anything. That's pretty cool. So now we've got our quick wire factory and our wire factory up and running, all in our new factory section. Fantastic. And we do need to power these sinks, so we'll figure out how to do that in the cleanest fashion possible. So we'll bring a wire over this side to this side to wherever this gets powered from, here. So like along here and then down to there. And then how are we going to power this one? It kind of looks unclean, but if we bring a wire over this side with a power pole and make sure it is straight, then we should be able to get a nice clean connection like this. I think that looks all right. What do we think of that? Now for the parking lot, we need some nice lights, because how will people drive in the dark? And this is where floodlights come in, right? Where's the center point of my parking lot? I mean, technically it's this line. So we can put a floodlight like that. And this is the center line. So we can do a floodlight like that. We don't want to go too overboard with the floodlights. And then we can just connect this to this, hopefully. And that can connect into here. Perfect. How does that look? Is everyone liking this look? I like this look. They're a little bit bright. You can adjust lights individually. So let's make it maybe 50%. There we go. That's looking a little bit less harsh. And there we go. Looks pretty cool, I think. What do we think? Looks good? Looks good. We've got a little parking lot going. Makes the back open area make a lot more sense. And then we've got a little bit of extra geometry over here that looks like, I don't know, a service station or something like that. No one knows what this is. People that don't play this game don't know these are awesome sinks, so it's all good. We should probably do something with the tiling around here. Let's see what we can do though. What if we just change it to grip metal? And then I feel like it needs a bit of a border. Could use road barriers, but what other interesting architectural features do we have? We unlocked a bunch of this stuff. High barrier. Do something like this. And then we can just do some little painting on the edge. Half factory zones. Something like that. What do we think of that? I think that looks fantastic. Look at that. Very interesting looking designs, I think. Rather than just blocky buildings, we've got some machinery now. Fantastic. What about the roof over here? Is this like Z fighting like crazy? Okay. We can fix that with more foundation. Ugh, don't like that. Why is it Z fighting so much? Cover it with beams. That covers a lot of it. There's still this one. The more I try to fix the Z fighting, the more Z fighting I create. Oh my god. Save me, beam connectors. Makes it look really weird, but whatever. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Now if we put a beam connector like from here out here, does that look like a pole? Like a boom gate sort of thing? Make it yellow. There we go, we got a boom gate going. Oh man. What do we think of this, guys? Do we like any of this? I think it looks pretty cool. And also, it's functional. We've got a lot of wire to use and a lot of quick wire to use, and everything is producing. I'm seeing everything is green, which is good. Obviously, this side of wire is not being used, so that's not green. Now, do we maybe just want to drill out the side of this so that we can access it from both sides for convenience? We can drill out this side of this one as well. They're like back entrances so that we can cut through our factory a little bit easier. Looking nice, guys. Looking nice. I like it. I think the only thing that we're missing right now is the entranceway sign, so let me quickly put those in. They're nice and easy. It's just small billboards. Just like that. There we go. Got to do the second level as well. Oh wait, there's no second level. I'm only going to do the cut through on the first level. We don't need a cut through on every single level. I like making up rules as I go. It doesn't make any sense, but just bear with me. There we go. Now, entranceways are all nice and lit up, and our building is done. It looks fantastic, if I say so myself. See, with all the extra glassing, it looks a lot less blocky than this, whereas the smelting tower looks a lot blockier. This one looks less blocky. Now, why is nothing working? Let's have a look at my recipes just to make sure everything is functional, because functionality is actually more important than aesthetics. I want, at the end of the day, my factory to function. Why? Did I miscalculate the quick wire? 60 per minute times 600. Is that not... Did I do this wrong? 10 is... Okay. Each one of these produces 60. 60 times 10 is 600. So this produces 1200. So why are you not neatly flowing? This is all Mark 6 belts. This merger should make this lift completely flow perfectly fine. Oh, we have to go into our subfloor to check, don't we? And then this should flow continuously. It is flowing continuously, but why is there jamming over here? Unless there is no jamming over here, I'm just imagining it. There's 100% jamming. This should all be flowing continuously. Am I overproducing quickwire? How? Let's do the maths together before we end the episode, just for funsies. And someone can tell me in the comments, because you guys are a lot smarter than I am. So a belt carries 1200 resources per minute, right? And here I am merging the output of 10 constructors, making 60 quickwire each. 10 times 60 is 600. We've got another set over here that makes the full 1200. They're all being merged into this manifold and then being merged together into this manifold. And why is the quickwire coming out of here full? Is it because it's just slowly draining? Okay, it's just slowly draining. I think it was because it took me so damn long to set up this sink that I think it's just taking its time to drain. Nope, but then it's full again. It's definitely overproducing. I mean, it's not a bad thing that it's overproducing. I'll take the free quickwire. It just doesn't make any sense to me because this should be a 600 belt, yet it's a 1200 belt. 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 60 times 5 is 300, so 300 should come out of here. And then 300 should come out of here. I don't understand. 300, 300, this should be a half belt, yet I'm getting a full 1200 belt out of here. What? This looks like a full 1200 belt, right? I'm getting two full 1200 belts here. Weird. Very, very weird. I don't really understand what's going on there. Wires should be flowing perfectly. Let's have a look at our wire one that's being sacked. See, this is what I expect. Everything flowing perfectly. And this is a full wire belt, which is fine. Yeah, I think everything's working. We've got caterium coming in non-stop. Now, obviously, all of this is going to be using up tons and tons of power. Nope, we're still at 11,000 megawatts. That's fine. If you're wondering, the order that I'm building my resources and materials in is a little bit strange, and that is only because I am building the stuff I need to make nuclear fuel rods, and then we're going to go build a big nuclear fuel plant and generate like 1,000,000 megawatts of power at some point. But we need all of these materials. We need quickwire, we need wire, we need copper sheets, we need a ton of concrete, we need AI limiters, stators, and all that fun stuff. And then we're going to build a train station and we're going to ship that to some water source somewhere really far away. And we're going to build a nuclear power plant. But we're still setting up a lot of the basic infrastructure. I'm getting a little bit faster at this now, since I'm getting a little bit more acclimated to the different design styles. But I think our factory is looking fantastic. So we'll leave it here this episode. We've got 2 materials up and running. I think we've done plenty. We've built ourselves a cool little thing that looks both aesthetic and I think it's pretty awesome. So we'll leave it there. With that being said, there's still going to be plenty more to do. So if you don't want to miss out on that, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.